Hello everyone, this is Running on Empty Food Review. Lately I've taken to doing the little thing with my finger there for added emphasis. This is Running on Empty Food Review. I am your host, the Report of the Week, and here we are. This is it. This is the collaboration of the century that nobody really asked for and no one really wanted, but we're getting it anyway. Two unlikely candidates have teamed up. We have Pizza Hut and Cheez-Its. And they teamed together. Now, whether they are forces for good or evil, no one really knows at this point. But either way, they just said, look, we're going to do it. We're gonna collaborate, and we're going to make the Stuffed Cheez-It Pizza. And they did. They actually did it, believe it or not. It's out, they just released it, and I had heard of this, but I just wasn't really sure. At first, I honestly couldn't believe. I thought people were just joking and they were messing around. And no, then I realized people were dead serious, that they actually went ahead and released this thing. And I got so many requests over the last day or two to try this out, and I'm going to give it a shot. So here's the info about it, first and foremost. So we just know what kind of thing, that's the best way to describe it, honestly. I would not go as far as to call it a pizza. What kind of thing we're dealing with here. So the Stuffed Cheez-It Pizza, what is it exactly? It's... I even have a hard time calling it a pizza myself. They describe it as having 4 jumbo squares that are like, they're giant Cheez-It crackers with like a cheddar cheese crust. Kind of like a Cheez-It cracker, right? Hence the name, and then it's filled with cheese, but you can also get it filled with cheese and pepperoni. And then it also comes with marinara dipping sauce. Price for this is $6.49 each. That begs the question, though. Number one, what does it taste like, right? We're going to find that out. And number two, I think a lot of people were trying to figure out, well, like, I mean, how big is it exactly, right? Is it, because they call it like a jumbo Cheez-It. So I was thinking at first that it's going to be like the size of a medium pizza, and it's just going to be like this pillow-sized Cheez-It cracker. And I was thinking, like, I don't really know what they're trying to go for here. It was reminding me a little bit of the Pizzone, which was actually pretty good. And it's just going to be a really interesting one to try out. Public opinion of this one is really mixed, though. Some people were saying this thing is a disgrace. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's an abomination. It's a waste of money. Look, it might even outright kill you. Other people were saying, this is the most delicious thing I've ever tried. And there was one guy, it was actually in the news a little bit, so I don't know if you saw it. He actually bought this sack full of them. He must have ordered dozens of them. And he filled them up. And he actually made a little bit of like a mattress out of it, and he sleeps on it every single night. I mean, some people are that much of a fan of this item. Like, they go crazy over it. So people are mixed. Some people love it, some people hate it, and I have to be completely honest. I kind of looked at this item initially, and I thought to myself, this is a little ridiculous, if you ask me. I thought it's outright silly, but you know what? I want to be pleasantly surprised here, and I want to be taken back, and I want to look at it and say, hey, I had my doubts about it. I might have thought it was quite silly and gimmicky, but it actually tasted good. So we'll see. Either way, though, I got both of them. I got the standard cheese, Stuffed Cheez-It Pizza. And then I also got the cheese and pepperoni one. So I'm going to try them both out. And we'll just see which one's better. Or if they're both good, or if they're both bad, or best of the worst, or worst of the worst, or anything in between. They both come in the same box. You can see right here. Stuffed Cheez-It Pizza, only at Pizza Hut. And you can see they did mark right there. It says cheese. Some people were wondering, they were saying, well, obviously it comes with the cheddar cheese on the crust, but what type of cheese is stuffed inside of it? And no one knows. I actually went over to Pizza Hut when I got these, and I went and I asked the person who was working there, I said, excuse me, do you know what type of cheese is in this thing? And they didn't know either. They were just as puzzled as I was. They said, I think it's the cheese that's on the pizza. So there you have it. But in truth, no one really knows at this point. So that's what it comes down to. There's the marinara sauce that you can dip it in. It sure looks just like the advertisement. I always have an issue with the prepackaged stuff, but it is what it is. Comes in the commemorative wrapping. And there it is. You know, they give the impression that I think they're a little bigger than this. That's my honest opinion. Like, when you look at the ad, there is nothing for scale. You know, it's not like they're gonna go ahead and put this next to me here and they're gonna say, see, it's about the size, it's like, you know, 2.5 times bigger than my tie knot. They're not gonna use that for comparison. Instead, they make this thing look gigantic. Like it could even be, you know, a half mile in diameter. But obviously that's not the case. So let's just take one out, close up, right there. Got the Cheez-It, the Stuffed Cheez-It Pizza, if you really want to call it that. There it is. And this is just the cheese only one, you can see right there. And with that, well, you know what's in it. I know what's in it. We all know what's in it. I'm going to try it out and I'll let you know what it tastes like. So this is the Stuffed Cheez-It Pizza, the cheese only one. I'll try it out and I'll let you know what it tastes like. It's going in. I tried to make that as dramatic as possible. It says do not microwave, so hopefully you can confirm that I am not microwaving it. Take one more bite. Hey, you know what? I'll be completely honest. It is not as bad as I thought it would be. Like, I saw this initially and I thought to myself, this is going to be so bland, it's going to be so, you know, just uneventful. But it's a little better than that. It's definitely, here's what it comes down to in regards to the mystery cheese blend inside. You can definitely see this is all that it is, really. It's just cheese and more cheese. So if you like all things cheesy, I think you'll probably be a fan of this. The cheese inside is, to me, and again, I am not completely sure because no one verified this, but most similarly, if you get their stuffed crust pizza, it's like that creamy cheese blend that's in the crust there. So that's my best guess in regards to, like, from Pizza Hut. One thing directly that I can compare it to me it tastes exactly like that. What you get in the stuffed crust pizza, that's what it tastes like to me. But again, I can't give any exact figures because I'm not. No one told me what's in it. Otherwise, as for the, you know, you can definitely taste that cheddar cheese on the outside there. So, you know, you kind of get a little bit of a twofold blend there, but it's very cheesy. And to be honest, it's not as bad as you think it is. To be honest, it's all right. You know, it's not as dry as I thought it would be either, but it is very gimmicky. I'm not going to go ahead and say that it's the best thing that I've ever had from Pizza Hut. I would say it's about average. You know, it doesn't blow me away, that's for sure. The marinara sauce is a must, though. You have to get it with the marinara sauce for sure. So that's first things first, right there. Would I say it's worth $6.49 each? No, I wouldn't. But for what it is, I think you can kind of tell. I'm not blown away by it, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily terribly disappointed. It has a little more flavor than I thought it would have, though. So the original one, the cheese-only one, I would give it a 6 out of 10. A little bit above average, but nothing crazy, right? Now just try out the pepperoni one real quick. This just has pepperoni in it and nothing more, just cheese and pepperoni. If you are interested, by the way, I have a new podcast out today. You can check it out at youtube.com/VORW podcast. And you could also support the show, help keep it going, by supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/thereportoftheweek. You can see the tiny little bits of pepperoni in there. It's more like cubed pepperoni. It's kind of odd, but I mean, not as flavorful as I thought it would be. To be honest, that's a little more underwhelming than the cheese-only one. That's my honest assessment there. Of the two, I think the cheese-only Cheez-It one is actually a little bit better than the pepperoni one, because I think the pepperoni and cheese, stuffed Cheez-It, it sets itself up to the standard that you expect it to be a little more flavorful. You think, well, it has a little bit more diversity in toppings, therefore it's going to be a little better than the other one. But in reality, it's actually a little bit more on the bland side. I was hoping for a little more flavor from that pepperoni, which was clearly lacking. So I'm actually, of the two, I would actually say that the cheese-only one is probably the better of the two, because I don't know, there's just some quality issues with the pepperoni. I'm not really tasting it like I thought I would. So I would rate the pepperoni stuffed Cheez-It, I would only give that a 5.2 out of 10, whereas a cheese one, again, I would rate it around the 6 out of 10 range. Again, they're both a little overpriced. Marinara sauce is a definite must for both of them. But to be quite honest, I mean, I don't think they're as bad as some people say that they are. Definitely not as good either. I would say it's a pretty standard, middle-of-the-road thing, but it's gimmicky, and you want to try it. If you want to go take them and make sunglasses out of them and post it on Instagram, then go for it. It's very gimmicky. People are talking about it, but it is not the worst thing in the world by far. And with that, that's all that I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you again in a couple days with another review. And on a final note, real quick, yes, it most certainly does taste like a Cheez-It. It's cheesy, and it does have that Cheez-It flavor.